Certified. Trespass works by telling me that I can't go back, and if I go back, then you can ID me. Until that point, you can't ID me.
Sir, you working today? Hey, can you come out and look at this guy around here? Well, the people at Cinema Perry want to trespass, and he's out here reporting me, and you know, 41, sovereign citizen.
Oh, I'm a sovereign citizen, huh? Because I refuse to give you ID? Because you won't tell me under what under Title 34? You won't tell me what condition under Title 34? You're busy with me, yet you're not going to go chase him down for
well, if I wasn't dealing with you...
Well, you know what? And you don't have to deal with me.
Well,
so am I being detained? Am I being detained? Am I being detained?
As of right now, yeah.
What's your name and badge number?
Officer X, number 50.
LaPorte City Police Department?
City Police Department.
Under what am I being detained for?
I just told you. They want you trespass from there because you were over there.
Okay. Okay, so I won't go back over there. Now.
Getting a supervisor like you requested.
Okay, so if we don't need anything else, then I'll be on my way.
No, you're not done. We're not done here.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Today's footage is a prime example of what happens when an officer lets personal ego override the actual law. In this video, you're about to watch a cop act like a simple phone call suddenly gives him authority he never legally had in the first place. Instead of relying on facts or understanding citizens' rights, he immediately shifts into intimidation mode, demanding identification without probable cause and trying to tame someone who hasn't committed any offense whatsoever. This was never about protecting the public. It was never about keeping peace. This was about power and control. From the very beginning, the officer assumes wrongdoing, disregards basic legal principles, and treats constitutional protections like they're meaningless inconveniences. But before we go any further, make sure you hit that like button and leave a comment down below. Music, because real accountability only happens when the public is paying attention. And what you're about to witness is the perfect reminder that understanding your rights is no longer optional. It's absolutely necessary.
Done.
Because I need your identification.
You're not getting it. Unless you give me a reason under Title 34, you're not getting my ID. You're not getting my ID, I guarantee it. What you will get is a lawsuit, not my ID.
Alright.
That's exactly what you'll get.
I'm recording it as well. Just so
I know you are.
I'm recording.
That's fine.
I'm going to go sit in my car until my supervisor gets here.
Okay. So am I still being detained even though you're in your car? So am I being detained though? Is that official detainment?
Yeah, you're not free to
I'm just asking you. That's if I'm not free to leave, I'll stay here. I don't care. You can go sit in your car and I'll stay right here. I just wanted to know since you're going back to your car. That's not normal. That's not standard procedure. So I just wanted to know because I have no problem staying here. That's just weird that you're going to go back to your car, you know?
Were you bored? You got to like grab EMS and someone that just lost a family member?
Okay.
You're over there like recording there on their property.
I'm not recording on their property.
Okay, so they want you to trespass from there.
I'm not recording on their property.
Because I want everybody to see this.
Okay.
All right, you were over there harassing somebody that just lost a family member.
But I wasn't.
EMS.
I wasn't.
You trespass.
Okay, so let's walk down here to the edge of the building. Let me show you this.
You get a supervisor.
Let me show you this. Let's go to the edge of the building and I'm going to show you this. I didn't even walk past the alleyway. I didn't even walk past the alleyway.
Close attention here, because this is the exact moment the situation starts spiraling out of control. The officer tries to argue that a supposed trespassing complaint automatically gives him the right to detain someone and demand identification, but that's simply not how the law works. No official trespass warning had been issued, no criminal activity had taken place, and there wasn't even reasonable suspicion to justify a detention. Yet despite all of that, the officer keeps pushing forward, refusing again and again to clearly explain the legal justification behind his actions while still demanding obedience. We've seen this pattern too many times before. Vague claims, imaginary authority, and the assumption that the citizen won't know their rights well enough to challenge it. And the second the citizen asks the obvious question, "Am I being detained?" the officer immediately begins dodging. He stalls, talks in circles, avoids giving a direct answer, and finally admits to detention without ever explaining the lawful basis behind it. That's not professional policing. That's a fishing expedition. And when he's asked to identify the actual law requiring ID in this situation, suddenly the confidence disappears and is replaced with irritation, intimidation, and empty threats instead of clear legal facts.
You're going to have a lawsuit. I will not give you an ID unless you give me a reason under Title 34 to have it. That's all. That's the only way you're getting it.
All right.
Because you cannot trespass me from a public sidewalk.
Yes, I can. You weren't on a public
You can trespass me from a public sidewalk? Go! You know what? Go fuck yourself, dude. You cannot do that.
And the person lost a family member saying you were on the property.
I wasn't on the property. A lot of people think if I show you the video, then will you arrest them for false informing? If I show you the video, will you arrest them for false informing?
Sure, go ahead. I'm not going to arrest them, but I'd like to see the video.
You're not going to arrest them for false informing if I show you the video. It is, because they lied and said that I was on their property.
You know the IC code for false information.
You know what? You better find out the IC code, not only about that, but also about IDing before you decide to do anything stupid today. Yeah.
53.
And then when we're done here, I'm gonna go back over there, and if they're outside, and I'm gonna I'm gonna take pictures of every single one of them out there. I'm gonna run them through facial recognition software. I'm gonna find out who they are, and then I'm gonna make sure they're prosecuted for false informing. Since you're not gonna do that. No, because I'm gonna take the pictures from over here.
So you're gonna harass somebody that just lost.
I'm not harassing nobody. They're harassing me because I did nothing to them. They're harassing me.
And this is the point where the officer completely drops the act. Instead of calming the situation down, he escalates it even further, refusing to allow the citizen to leave while openly acknowledging that there isn't even an active investigation taking place. At that moment, the demand for identification clearly stops being about enforcing the law and starts becoming a personal power struggle. The more the citizen calmly exercises his rights, the more irritated the officer becomes, responding with sarcasm, aggression, and subtle threats clearly meant to pressure compliance. Music. This wasn't confusion or poor communication. It was intentional behavior. Time after time, the officer ignores recorded evidence, refuses to recognize the protections that apply to public sidewalks, and treats lawful filming like a criminal act simply because he doesn't like being recorded. Even worse, unverified claims from bystanders are immediately accepted as truth, while the citizen's own video evidence is brushed aside without consideration. This is exactly how constitutional rights get chipped away in everyday encounters, not always through dramatic headlines or violent arrests, but through small abuses of authority that most people are too nervous or—
I walked up to the edge of the alleyway, and I invited you over to the edge of the building so I could point over there and show you right where I was. I walked. You don't give a fuck. That's the problem. You really don't care. You don't care. So I walked up to the edge of the alleyway, and I stood there. And they said, "Well, what are you doing?" I said, "Filming anything I can see from public view." That was it. Because I walked around the corner from the old hospital building, seen an ambulance there. That was it. So I walked up to the edge of the alleyway. That's exactly what was said. And then I said, and then she told me, "Fuck you." And I said, "Congratulations, you're exercising your rights just like I am mine." That was the whole conversation. That was all that was said. End of story. Literally less than 60 seconds later, I walked away and came this way. I didn't even go past the edge of the alleyway. That's exactly how it happened. I have video proof of it. There was no harassment whatsoever. You need to learn the IC code for harassment too, by the way.
I know that IC code for harassment.
Okay. Huh?
That is not harassment.
Exactly. And that's what I'm telling you, man. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm just explaining to you that all I'm out here doing is a constitutionally protected activity. I did not harass her. That's literally all that was said, man. That's literally it. And you riled up this conversation like this.
No, I came up real nice, asking who you are, what you're doing, what's up.
Okay, and I was on the phone with my wife, and I was nice enough.
Encounter continues. The officer falls into a pattern we've seen countless times before, constantly changing the justification the moment the previous one falls apart. First, the claim is trespassing, then suddenly becomes harassment, followed by vague emotional arguments used to excuse actions that have no legal foundation. But none of those accusations survived even basic scrutiny. The citizen calmly explains exactly where he was, remaining in publicly accessible areas, never stepping onto restricted property, and walking away within moments of the interaction. There's no trespassing, no harassment, and no criminal conduct anywhere in sight. Music. But the officer refuses to acknowledge the obvious because admitting the truth would mean admitting he handled the situation incorrectly from the start. Instead, perfectly lawful filming is portrayed as suspicious behavior, and exercising constitutional rights is treated as some kind of personal attack. And that's where this becomes genuinely concerning. The moment law enforcement stops applying the law objectively and starts reacting based on emotion, frustration, or wounded pride, the entire situation becomes dangerous. The law isn't supposed to revolve around somebody feeling annoyed, embarrassed, or uncomfortable. It's supposed to revolve around facts, evidence, and legal standards. And in this case, the facts clearly are not supporting the officer's position.
So here's the thing. It's equivalent to, like, if I come on your property, you have every...
But I didn't go on anybody's property. I was on the sidewalk.
And it's equivalent to me. Like, if you come on my property, I have the right to trespass you.
Correct. But I didn't go on the property. I was on this public sidewalk, man. I didn't even go past the alleyway.
Well,
it's on video. It's on video. Video weighs up more than anything.
That, you never showed me the video. You continue to record.
No, because you told me that you're not going to arrest them for false informing.
Well, no, that's because it's not false information.
It is. For them to lie, and say that then it's false informing, man.
What's up, boss?
How you doing, man?
What's going on?
What's your name, badge number?
I'm Officer Gonzalez.
Okay, you sergeant? Shift.
Specialist. What's up, man?
Oh, okay. So check this out, man. So I'm just walking down this way. I went in front of the old hospital building there, and I turned around the corner, seen there was an ambulance there with its lights on, and I couldn't see anything else past what was going on with it. I wasn't sure if there was like a crash or something like that. So I walked down that way. I didn't even go past the alleyway.
Right.
Name and badge number, please.
Dyer, 14.
You a sergeant, or? I'm explaining that right now. Okay, cool. So I'm walking this way, in front of the hospital building, walk around the corner, and seeing that there was an ambulance with its lights on. Couldn't see anything past.
As finally steps into the situation, the entire story immediately starts falling apart. The accusations lose momentum, the tone shifts, and for the first time, actual calm discussion replaces emotional confrontation. The citizen once again explains exactly what occurred, where he was standing, and why the allegations being thrown at him simply don't make sense. And pay attention to what happens next. The moment the facts are presented clearly and logically, the aggressive attitude suddenly fades away. No arrest is made, no citation is issued, and that supposed legal requirement for identification quietly disappears because it never had a solid foundation to begin with. Instead of confidence, what follows is a slow and silent retreat. This is exactly why documentation matters. This is exactly why recording these encounters matters. Music. Without video evidence, this entire situation likely would have been dismissed as nothing more than officer discretion. But with the footage available, the overreach becomes impossible to ignore. The second assumptions are replaced with actual evidence. The imbalance of power starts to disappear. And that's precisely why videos like this are so important for the public to see and discuss.
Crash or anything, so I was just about to turn around and come back this way, and this is ridiculous at this point. Now you're triggering my PTSD, and we're gonna have problems. Okay, so yes, please, okay, because I don't want that to happen. Okay.
Say whatever. I'm not talking about it.
All right, so sir, do you want me to explain this to you, or?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so when I get down there and noticed that there was no crash, then I went ahead and was about to come this way. She says to me, "What are you doing?" I said, "Filming anything I can see from public view." Okay, and then
Who asked you that?
A girl that was sitting over there.
Like a random girl? Was she like a police officer? Or was she like...
No, she was just a girl that was sitting there. Okay, so she asked me what I was doing. I just said, filming anything I can see from public view. I didn't even walk past the alleyway. I was still on the public sidewalk.
Yeah.
And then she tells me that, the next thing she tells me was, "Fuck you." I said, "Well, congratulations. You can participate in constitutional protected activity too." And that was the extent of the whole conversation. Literally less than 60 seconds later, I walked off and left.
Have a good day. See ya.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for harassing me. Thank you for allowing them to harass me.
So, let this be the real message behind the video. This isn't about attacking law enforcement or pushing anti-police narratives. It's about expecting professionalism, accountability, and respect for constitutional rights from the people entrusted to uphold the law. Far too often, officers walk into these encounters with conclusions already formed. seeking obedience first instead of focusing on facts and evidence. And the moment citizens don't fully understand their rights, that's where misuse of authority begins to creep in. Recording encounters protects the public. Understanding the law protects the public. Staying calm while firmly standing against unlawful demands protects everyone involved. If this footage demonstrates anything, it's that constitutional rights only remain meaningful when people are willing to actively exercise them. So support the channel, share the video, and keep these discussions out in the open because public scrutiny is one of the strongest forms of accountability. And above all, remember this. Always document your interactions. Always educate yourself on your rights, and never allow intimidation or ego to take the place of the law.